I came back to my small town because I had nowhere else to go. My father had died that winter, quietly in his sleep, and the house he left behind felt heavier than his coffin ever did. Every room still smelled like his aftershave and old books. At night, the wind pressed against the windows like lonely hands. I slept on the couch because the bedroom felt too empty. Grief made everything slower. Even breathing hurt. Some nights I just sat in the dark listening to the ticking of the wall clock, counting seconds like they were keeping me alive. I told myself this town was safe, boring, forgotten, but loneliness has a way of sharpening your senses. And in the quiet between each tick, I kept feeling like something was missing. Or worse, something was waiting. My days settled into a routine. I worked the late shift at the gas station on Route 9, the only place still open past midnight. The same cars passed through, the same faces. Neon lights buzzed overhead, attracting moths that tapped endlessly against the glass. The town went silent after 10. Too silent. One night, while restocking shelves, I heard the front door chime ring. I walked out, but no one was there. The door was still locked. I blamed old wiring. Another night, I found muddy footprints leading from the entrance to the back storage room. I told myself a customer must have tracked them in. Still, unease clung to me like a cold film. I kept glancing at my reflection in the dark windows, half expecting it to move when I didn't.
It started with the voice, soft, close. My name whispered from the far end of the station while I counted the register. I froze. The store was empty. I checked the bathrooms, the storage room. Nothing. The next night, the security camera feed flickered, and for one full second, I saw myself standing behind the counter, staring directly into the camera. I was alone in the station. I rewound the footage. The image was gone. Corrupted, maybe. I tried to laugh it off. Stress, grief, lack of sleep. But then the whispers came again, always saying my name, always sounding like me. By the third night, the freezer door inside the storage room slammed shut on its own. I felt fear coil in my chest. Something here was wrong, and it had learned my voice. The town began to feel different, hostile. Even in daylight, curtains stayed drawn. People avoided my eyes. At night, I felt watched from the darkness beyond the gas station lot. Shadows lingered too long near the tree line. The whispers grew louder, closer, sometimes right behind my ear. I stopped sleeping. Caffeine replaced rest. Paranoia replaced reason. I started locking every door twice, then 3 times. I caught movement on the camera again, a pale figure pacing just out of frame. When I rushed outside, the road was empty. Wind howled through the weeds. I called the sheriff once. He told me it was probably teenagers messing around. He never came to check. That night, I saw fingerprints form slowly on the inside of the freezer door, pressing out, like something trapped inside was trying to escape. It took the shape of someone I trusted, my father. I saw him standing at the edge of the parking lot under the flickering streetlight. His face was almost right, almost. His eyes were wrong, too wide, too dark. He smiled the same way he used to when I was a kid. My legs went numb. He raised a hand and whispered my name in my own voice. The sound shattered something inside me. I knew then it had been studying me, wearing my memories like skin. He stepped closer. The light revealed that his shadow moved in the opposite direction from the rest of his body. I backed into the station, shaking. The doors slammed shut on their own. The locks clicked down. My phone lost all signal. The thing outside tilted its head, confused, then smiled wider and knocked. The knocking turned violent. Glass rattled. Shelves shook. I ran to the back door. Locked. I kicked it. It wouldn't budge. The front windows spider-webbed with cracks as something heavy struck them again and again. I smelled rotting earth pushing through the vents. The lights flickered, plunging me into darkness between flashes. Each flash showed it closer, inside now, moving wrong, limbs bending at impossible angles. It moved fast when the lights were out, slow when they returned. I hid in the storage room, pressing myself between shelves. Footsteps dragged across tile. Breathing echoed, wet and deep. Something sniffed the air. My air. I held my breath until my vision burned. The freezer door creaked open behind me. Cold spilled across my legs. And a hand touched my shoulder. I screamed and stumbled forward, crashing into boxes. My thoughts shattered into fragments. Run! Hide! Wake up! This isn't real. This is grief. This is sleep. I couldn't tell what was real anymore. The whispers returned, overlapping. Dozens of my own voices stacked on top of each other, all repeating my name. I covered my ears. It didn't help. The walls bent inward like they were breathing. The floor felt soft, like skin. I saw my father's face in every reflective surface, smiling, waiting. My knees buckled. I begged out loud. I didn't know who I was begging. The thing laughed. It sounded exactly like me laughing from somewhere deep inside my own chest. I realized then that the town wasn't haunted. It was hungry, and I had finally been chosen. The truth came too late. I remembered the local stories I used to ignore. People who vanished without funerals. Houses left abandoned overnight. Entire families gone with no signs of struggle. They said the town protected itself, fed itself. I saw it now. The people weren't avoiding me before because they were cruel. They were afraid I would be next. The thing cornered me against the freezer. Its face melted between strangers and loved ones I had lost. Every voice I missed, every grief I'd buried. It leaned close and whispered that it had been wearing my father long before he ever died. I understood then. There was no escape. The exits had never been real. The town was a closed mouth, and I was inside its throat. It lunged. I ran. Shelves collapsed behind me, bottles shattered. I slipped on spilled fuel and slammed into the counter. Pain exploded through my ribs. The creature crawled across the ceiling above me, bones cracking loudly as it inverted itself. Its jaws stretched wider than any human mouth should. I screamed until my throat tore. It dropped in front of me, blocking the only path forward. The air turned cold enough to burn. It grabbed my ankle. I kicked. I fought. I begged. It pulled harder. My nails tore against tile as I was dragged backward. My body felt light, useless. Its face shifted into mine completely now. Perfect. Empty. I realized I was looking at my future reflection. It opened its mouth and swallowed my scream whole. They found the gas station empty the next morning. Door locked from the inside, register balanced, no blood, no signs of struggle. Only one strange thing remained. The security footage showed me standing calmly behind the counter, greeting customers who never arrived, smiling softly into the dark. The town kept moving. The lights still flicker at night, the wind still whisper along Route 9. And sometimes, when a driver stops for gas after midnight, they swear I look tired, lonely, human. I ring up their purchase without a word. My reflection doesn't match theirs anymore.
And when they leave, I whisper their name, testing how it sounds in my mouth. The town is no longer hungry because now I work the night shift forever.